Right.
Mr. Johnson.
Hello.
I'm sat with Paul Johnson, Metal Tiger. He's agreed to talk to LSC Share Talk. CEO, no?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, big title.
Seen the RNS, yeah.
It just means more work.
I like what you did with the options, or when you took the options.
What, twice the price?
Yeah, 1.7p.
Oh, come on, it's the bottom of the market. You know, we've got one of the worst resource sector pullbacks in time. We've got probably a recovery underway. I don't think anyone should have any fear of taking options at twice the existing share price, because I think you should be able to get it beyond that and then some. So
Yeah.
I do despair when I see companies doing options at the share price at the time. I don't think that's full motivation. I think people need to see some clear water between the current share price and your option level. So that's the way we do things. We won't offer options on any other basis to the directors. There has to be a big gap up.
I thought it was good when I read it, actually, because that was a positive thing, apart from you getting a promotion, obviously. But for the investors, that was a positive thing I was saying when I read that. Because straight away you look down and you read that and you think, oh, there's somebody getting shares. Because you get like that in the end market, don't you, with companies that we do anyway as private investors.
Yeah.
But when I looked at it and I thought, right, fair dues, basically you have to work to get that figure, like.
You do.
To get it there,
Yeah.
And that's what the good thing for me was.
And the key thing is you've got to get your money out at the other end as well, because one of the problems being a director is that if you sell stock, then it causes significant damage to the share price. So there needs to be an exit strategy and an approach to take to get the share price moving, make your gains, as it were, against your options and for your existing shares, and then find a way to get that money out. And we've talked about that many times with Metal Tiger, that our approach is not to run this as a long-term business for forever.
Yeah.
It's to run it for this cycle and to make the best returns we possibly can during the process. But when we get towards the top end of the market, we've got to look seriously at distribution of that wealth amongst the shareholders, which of course includes us. So we can get our money out as well alongside everybody else. So we do have a bit of a different philosophy. I've not heard any other companies talking about having a medium-term kind of business plan like that and an exit strategy, but that's key for us. We've got to be able to get the money out of the system at the other end of the process.
I agree, because you could take other companies as an example that have been on the go for a few years, and like they've gone up the cycle, they've gone down, and then once they've gone down, that's it. They're never coming back.
Yeah, you tend to fall down
gone.
lower than where you started, so you can go from a penny to 50p, and then you end up down at 0.1 at the end of the cycle, because people lose faith and confidence. And there is no other business plan that you can have in a super cyclical business like our space, where it goes up and down like a roller coaster, but to try and get on at the bottom and then get out at the top. And that's pretty much our philosophy. How we execute on that depends on circumstances, how fortunate we are, what assets we have, when we're able to dispose of interests, if we're able to dispose of them. But that is definitely our approach to things.
The other RNS, the issue was an equity.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because they took shares.
Oh yeah, well these always inspire all sorts of different responses. I've had, the vast majority of the responses are absolutely fine, and you get the occasional person that doesn't like any issue of equity. But it's a good thing if people are prepared to take stock at a premium rather than take cash payments. Then as long as they are the right kind of people and you're comfortable with them, then it does lock them into your kind of business going forward, and it does make them more committed and wanting to see the business grow and the share price grow. So happy to do it on the right basis, which it was for that particular announcement.
I looked at that RNS, and me personally, I looked at it positively.
Yeah.
Because it's the easiest thing in the world for somebody to come along and say, give us X, Y, Z cash-wise, and then they're gone. But for them to actually take a position to do that, then that says to me they're looking at the business model and they're liking what they're seeing. So
well, I know who's behind it, of course.
Of course,
and I can say that the organisations and the people that we're dealing with behind it are supportive and committed and believe in the business. And if they didn't, and if they're not flippers, and because if they were, they would take the cash, because you don't take stock at a premium when you could take the cash tomorrow. You know, you're obviously committed to that business model, and you think you can do well out of it, and I believe they can. I think we're at the bottom of the cycle, and we've got some good potential going forward. But again, there are people out there that absolutely hate dilution and get a bit
but
upset.
It's the name of the business. What can you do?
Yeah,
you have to raise cash to go forward.
Oh yeah,
it's one of them. It's a devil's advocate. It's crazy like it. Why don't investors understand that?
Well, because they get shafted so often with chronically discounted placings, particularly in this part of the market. You know, you put your cash in and you at a penny a share for in companies, and then all of a sudden you find that they're raising money at 0.4 or whatever, and you just feel royally shafted.
I remember that last year actually.
Yeah, and it's
soul destroying.
It is soul destroying, and
kill a company.
It's not the best way for companies like ours to raise finance, but in some cases it's the only way, because the directors are sometimes not fully understanding of how the city operates, because the city is quite tight with cash at the moment, and for the resources space doesn't like it, so it's not prepared to give anything really. It wants to get the best deal it can, and that's where we are. We've been fighting as a company to raise money and to keep ourselves running on a better basis than that, with high net worth investors, and growing our book of people that are prepared to give the company money on sensible terms, and that's a different approach. But most companies are just struggling to survive, and they have to take whatever cash they can at whatever price.
Yeah, well, when I went to Walsall the other week, I met a few of the investors, a lot of sticky investors.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed with the guys. I shouldn't say that because they'll watch this and they'll be chatting away in DMs. Give them all big heads. No, but I was quite impressed with them because I had a chance to sit down and actually talk to them.
Yeah.
Normal guys, investors, some large ones, and so on. But you could see it. You could see it. It was a case of they're there. They're going to stick there.
Yeah.
And they believe in it. And that's what I saw.
Well, you do need a bit of patience in this kind of thing.
I did.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money with trading and flipping in and out and so on, but the biggest returns in our space come by taking positions at the bottom in companies with substantial assets, and then holding on. And this is kind of how we built the model, because we always knew from the start that we wanted to get some really, really big interests in there. And with Botswana, with Thailand, with Spain, and potentially with other things, we've got assets that have potentially enormous value, particularly as the cycle starts to come back again. And these are very, very, very big projects. You look at Botswana and you see the size of that landholding and the quality of the potential mineralisation that we could well have there.
And what's around there as well.
And what's around
companies
there.
Around you.
Yeah, the companies around and the investment
it's weird.
In the area. It's fabulous. And you look at Thailand and what we're trying to do there, and you think, good Lord, the potential available is amazing.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I know you were going to talk about Spain, but Thailand was the last RNS.
Yeah.
In fact, it was today.
It was today.
What am I saying? I've been that busy over the last 2 days. But it was today, and you go down. The share price goes down. It's
just a bit of a weird market like that.
It's strange, isn't it? Do you not think?
No, it's a bit unusual, but if people read the RNS that we released today, again, there are plenty of kind of guidance points in there as to where we're going and the type of stuff that we're doing.
Do the people understand these RNSs, or do they not read them? I don't understand, to be honest.
No, I just think the market is that way at the moment, and people are very reticent of resource companies. I think there's lots of stuff goes on in the background with regard to share prices, and we've talked about that before.
That's right.
But eventually, if you keep putting out the positive news and talking about major assets, major interests, as we are doing with our 3 principal interests in Thailand, Botswana and Spain, then you will break through that resistance, and then off you go. And that's why I think you see this sudden, a share can be trading around the penny range for a long period of time with a flat line, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, sometimes on the back of a piece of news, but sometimes out of nowhere you see a share price rise up to 3, 4, 5 pence, and you think, blimey, where did that come from? And it's kind of the coiled spring effect, and I'm sure in some cases it's a few things that are happening in the background, you know, with regard to share manipulations. But generally speaking, the coiled spring effect is quite interesting, and that's what we all push for, because when you break through the barriers, share price wise, then you can really start to see some major gains for the shareholders, which is what you want.
And you can raise funds as well.
Yeah, you can.
Because everything starts kicking in then, like a dominoes effect.
I mean, the key to raising funds isn't so much the price, it's more the volume of your stock. And because we have a very high volume share, today it was lower, but yesterday I think it was 11 million shares at one point. At one point, the point being the end of the day. But it's great volume. That was £100,000 of the stock traded in microcap at the bottom of the resources sector. So if you've got volume and liquidity, you can actually raise money pretty easily. I should be careful in terms of what I say there, because I don't want to give people the wrong idea. But what it means is that you have options available when you're in that fortunate position, and we have options available. And that gives us a bit more strength to go and raise money on a sensible basis.
That's what I was trying to imply, sorry, I didn't word it very well.
But in terms of the share price, it's always nice to see a major move up in price. Spikes can be a little bit dangerous for people, but I want to see our share price and our market value properly reflect our interests. We had a broker analyst report done recently that put a price of about 2.3 pence a share on Metal Tiger, focused primarily on our working capital and our Botswanan interest. So quite a narrow focus at this stage, and we're hoping that type of analyst report will expand to include our other assets in time, and we should have a more interesting valuation on there. But we are, by any measure, undervalued on a sensible basis. So we were just pushing to increase the awareness, to keep on getting the news out to market, and to build things. We're hugely confident.
But like you said, we were talking before we went on camera about the gold. Yeah. And you can see the sentiment, you can see the change coming. So
the change is,
it looks like it's coming. It looks like it's coming.
Well, next time you see, I'll take you for a cup. We just had a cup of coffee at McDonald's, and next time we'll go to Costa, see if the share price is higher.
Oh, well, somebody asked me the question, who pays for the coffee?
I did.
There you go. That's the answer to your question on your DMs.
Yeah.
I'm tight. Just the last one. Bore everybody to death for me. Cameron.
Yeah.
Right. People. Well, they won't know.
Yeah.
Cameron Parry has left the building. But for people who don't know, where's he gone and what's he doing?
Well, he's not left the building in that sense.
From Metal Tiger to his new transition of.
Well, he's still a non-exec director of Metal Tiger.
Yes, but
he's still
seems to have got more involved in something else.
Yeah, well, he's been working on Coincilium, which is ISDX listed. It's a blockchain company, and I should do the marketing with the with the ticker coin, COIN. On the ISDX, it's got a variety of different interests in blockchain and related businesses. It's certainly well worth a look. It's been taking up an increasing amount of Cameron's time, and going forward, similar situations. So he has got more time now to focus on Coincilium. He's also been working actively on Metal Tiger, and he will be still a non-exec director, and I have access to him whenever I want. He can help me in various areas whenever I need that help. He's been very close to the business since we started, and he will remain so. I think I've had about 7 emails so far today from him, so he's not out of this business.
Yeah. It's just for clarification. Yeah. Just so people who maybe didn't read the RNS correctly, he's still about.
Oh, he's still about. Don't you worry. He isn't going anywhere. And if this business performs as we want it to, he will do exceptionally well out of it. And so his interests are, he has to keep an eye on things here and make sure it moves in the right direction.
It's obviously yourself, you put a lot of work in. When I first met Cameron, whenever, and he was banging away then as well.
He's a good man, and he's built this business from scratch. We started together in mid-2014. He's been actively involved, and we've built this alongside the Terry Grammer, who's our famous geologist, prospector, who runs the company as chairman. I have to say that.
Yes.
Alex Borelli, who's on the board as a non-exec director. The four of us have been together for quite some time now, and we are still pushing it forward. There's a lot more effort goes in now than ever before. It's an increasingly challenging job because of our interests, and we have a lot of work to do. But if we can build this, if we can make one asset work, I've said this before on one of your videos, one asset work is great news. If we can make two assets work, then it's, sorry about that, we had a bit of noise from the outside. If we make one asset work and get value from it, it's going to be great for the company. If we make two, it will be fantastic, and we don't even dream about more than that.
Be a life changer.
Oh, it'll be amazingly life changing, and
two ways about it. I just hope you keep on talking.
I can then maybe stop and we exit, and I can learn to play the guitar, play the piano, carry on learning Thai. I've got French GCSE. I need to get French A-level.
Oof, CSE for me.
Was it CSE?
For me, yeah. Show me age now.
Yeah. Well, I got CSE grade 2 at school. And I made a promise to my tutor that one day I would pass GCSE or O-level as it was then, the equivalent. I went back to college a few years ago and passed it. So
nice one.
Yeah, I got.
You kept that one quiet.
Yeah, I got an A-star.
Did you?
Yeah, an A-star. But the problem is...
That was Malcolm, by the way, just trying to get in the door.
Yeah,
I know, just saying.
The problem is, I went to the A-level class after passing the GCSE with A-star, the best grade. Went to the A-level class, and the tutor said to me in French, you got A-star. And I didn't know what a star was, which is étoile. And I thought, no, I need to stop now, because I haven't got the time to do it. But I want to go back and do A-level French. So I've got loads of things I want to do. And this, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my days. We're going to run this business as hard and fast as we can. We're going to try and make everybody some money and ourselves some money in the process. Look after the people that we're working with. Everyone from employees, joint venture partners, all the people in the areas that we're working, do a good job. But at some point, it may be 2 years, it may be 4 years, I don't know, down the line, we're going to dispose of our interests and then we're going to move on. And I'm going to go and play guitar and learn French.
I'll still be running around with a little camcorder.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
All right.